Hey, how's it going? If you're a small business owner, you know the importance of content creation. And content creation is specifically for blogging could get you a lot of free business for your business. Basically, what happens is people are constantly searching for your products and services. And yes, you might have tons of competition. The way you could outdo your competition is creating really great content for your business. But as a small business owner, you know just as well as I do that you're wearing many hats. You know, you're probably doing the sales and marketing. You're doing the accounting. You're doing customer training, customer support. You're doing literally everything that you might not have time to be a content creator at the same time. And a lot of us businesses, even though we're making some good money, we realize like we can figure out ways to spend that money that we might not think about paying a content creator to blog full time for us. And so that's where AI agents could come in place and save you a lot of money for your business by having to automate this whole process for yourself, where the content is being created in the background while you go and be able to focus on what it is that you need to focus on. And that's a really beautiful thing about AI, and it's the beautiful thing about content creation is the ability to automate a lot of the stuff that you just don't have time for. And so with that, I'm going to show you how I did it. And here's the cool thing. I'm not a nerd guy. I have no idea about AI agents, automation. I just started with this, and I have a goal to take my business to $300,000 per month with a direct purpose to give away 1 month's income to an amazing community support thing that I have in mind. In a powwow, you know, we have this international powwow that we do. I paused it for a time here because it didn't make business sense for us to give away that much money when we didn't have it. So it's constantly fundraising, constantly doing that. And so I want to take this AI process, and you probably want to take this AI process to automate a lot of the stuff so you could still continue to generate income. You could scale and do it in a way where you're not paying somebody, 20,000 a year, 30,000 a year, $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, but automate it with AI agents. And in this video, I'm going to show you basically how I did it. And so a lot of times when I'm trying to figure out something technical for my business, when I'm not a technical guy, is I spend a lot of time on YouTube. And I know that if I could just learn this process, that you could go ahead and create, some of the workflows for you in terms of, doing projects or technical stuff. To learn it from YouTube, I learned grant writing from YouTube. I learned live streaming from YouTube, some of the services that we offer with our business. But there's a way for you to actually do this the smarter way as a small business owner. And there's a website called Upwork. And Upwork will you could post jobs, you could do all kinds of things. So if I go to Upwork, the main page, and I look for, to search for talent, right? And the cool thing about searching for talent on Upwork is they literally have so much things there for anyone to that you can hire as a freelancer for your business. And if you need someone to do, let's say, YouTube video creation, you could look that up on here. If you want to look at people who could do video editing for you, logo creation, help you with your Facebook ads, all kinds of experts are on this website called Upwork. And there's a lot of different websites out there like Freelancer. There's Fiverr as well. I really, really like Upwork. And you could find people for like, $30 an hour, $23 an hour. Look, $10 an hour to handle your social media management, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and LinkedIn, which is really, really cool. This person earned $700,000 handling people's social media at $10 an hour. So imagine, if you just said, hey, I would like to invite you for a job, you just click this green button here, and said, I need you to do at least 5 hours a week for me, just updating my social media account. Make sure that you schedule everything for the whole week. It should only take 5 hours. You do it on a Monday, and just make sure there's 2 posts on my LinkedIn for every day of the week. There's 2 posts for my Twitter. There's 2 posts for my Facebook, for my Instagram, for my YouTube account. Just make sure that it's all taken care of, and then train him on your voice, like how you would write a post. And you could train them by, give them all like 100 of your past posts, and you could get this person to actually go in and look at your past posts, feed it to AI, and to get a kind of a tone of voice that you talk with, which is really, really neat, right? So the cool thing is, with AI automation, you want to automate something, you could look for N8N workflows. So N8N is the service that I found that could automate a lot of the stuff for you. And here's where you could find people who could actually write the code for you, upload it to your N8N, and basically it's hands off. You don't need to be a nerd. You hire the nerds, right? You don't need to be a person who's an expert at creating these workflows, these JSON workflows. See, that's a new term that I found out, but basically just a program that does the work for you. And as a business owner, we have a lot of stuff that we'd like to not have to do, and just have our AIs do it for us. And when you're working as a small business owner, you might be the whole team, or you might have a 2-person team or a 3-person team. You cannot really compete against someone who has a 50-person team, a 100-person team, right? With a huge marketing budget, unless you're a really smart marketer where you really understand Facebook ads, and you could outwork them that way. But if you don't have that for you in your business, one way to catch up and to also dominate is to add AI agents. And what I call AI agents, just the way to think about it, is just employees for your business. So if you add one AI agent, you're adding one employee for your business. If you add 10 AI agents, you're adding 10 employees for your business. Soon you could have about 100 different AI agents working for you at a fraction of the cost, maybe $1,000 a month for 100 agents working for you. Boom, 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 day in, day out. And all you're paying for really is probably just AI credits, credits that they use for image generation, credits they use for research. So they could write blog posts, create content for you, to create chat bots to do customer service. You could do outreach to look at leads and contact leads and close leads. You can have your whole business pretty much automated to the point where all you got to do is deliver the service. And then even after that, if you want to act like a CEO later on, you hire somebody to do that delivery of the service. And now you can just go on vacation and do what you want to do with your business, hang out with your family, hang out with loved ones, because you have AI agents who are literally doing everything for you. And so what I did, is I found a workflow for my blog. I have a blog here, and I'll just show you my blog real quick. And here's my blog, and I have all kinds of content creation. Now, the thing is, like, I can't really post on a really, really consistent basis. I'm such a busy guy. A lot like how you are as a small business owner. You're a busy guy. You don't have time to sit there and do content creation. I tried to hire my kids to do it, but my kids, they rather just game out. They rather go play outside. They rather be on their tablets, on their phones. They don't want to do the work, right? And they're not as passionate about the business as I am, the thing that I'm trying to create for my business. And so I didn't want to hire people too, because I didn't have the extra money in my whole operations budget to be like, okay, I need to just hire someone to write for me full time. I could have got volunteers, and I tried to go that route, where people who are just passionate about just getting some writing experience out there. But maybe that's another, when I have more free time, when AI agents allow me to free up more time, that's going to help me out so much to be able to get to that point. where I could do a volunteer strategy and hire like 50 volunteers from colleges who just want writing experience. They want journalism experience. Maybe they could start off right here, and I could give them an audience because we have a large audience on social media. So I wanted to automate my blogging process. And what I would like it to do basically is write a blog post for me, maybe 3 times a week. And so what I did was I got from Upwork, uh, from Upwork, a workflow, right? So that was one of my messages. I was messaging one of my programmers, right? Upwork to get an N8N flow for a few $100s, and a few $100 workflow to help me automate blogging for my business. Now I want to show you basically the workflow. Now this might make you want to click off because you're like, what the heck am I looking at? But this is basically the brain of your employee. And the brain of the employee only operates on what input you give it and what rules that you give your own employee. So think of this string of code here. These are called nodes. So every single one of these are called nodes, and I had to figure that out by watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. And these nodes are part of the brain of your employee. The brain that says, I only want you to do this. I only want you to do that. And once that's done, I only want you to do that with that information. And when that information is done, pass it to the next part of your brain, and I only want it to do this next. And so this whole process is a blog writing code, a blog writing formula, a blog writing brain for this AI employee to bust out blog posts for me. And so just to kind of go over it, the very first part is, okay, here's a keyword that I want you to write a blog post on. I want you to structure it. And then I want you to create headlines for it. And after you're done that, I want you to create an image for it, 4 images for this. And then once that 4 images are done, I want you to kind of put it all together, write a full blog post, post it on our WordPress, and then document that you did it, right? And that's all this brain, this AI agent is supposed to do for us. And so I think that's really amazing now that I have an AI agent to do the blog for me. That's going to free up hours and hours of time, of my own time as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, to not have to do this, right? And I know that the more traffic I get to my business, the more traffic I get to my website, the more chances I have to create business for myself, where people can look at my services, right? They click here, they can go to my services, and when they click on my services, they can look at what I have to offer, and when they look at what I have to offer, it creates more business for me. And so now this AI agent that I paid for, this workflow that I paid for, is able to create me even more revenue without me having to do anything on the background. So use cases. I want you to imagine, let's say you're a service provider. You do services like roofing services, where you replace all, the shingles on a roof. And so you could look up and do keyword research on all the search terms in your local area of what people are searching for when it comes to fixing a roof. Maybe they have a leak in the house and they're like, how to fix a leak, Atlanta, Georgia, maybe that's your local area. And you have a blog post about that. So they click on you and you say, that the leak could be coming from, a faulty roof. And the very first thing you want to do is get it inspected. And then once an inspection comes, you get a proper idea of what a quote would be for how to fix that. To do it yourself would be really, really hard. You want experts to do it. If you want me to come check it out, I could give you a free estimate, and all you got to do is fill out this form. But if you have content already created for that on your blog, people start seeing that, then you're able to attract a lot of business to yourself organically. And organically just means you're not paying for advertising. You're getting free business based on the traffic to your blog, based on the traffic to your website. And so I think that's really, really cool to have a way to generate content for yourself, especially if you're a busy entrepreneur. So let's go how it works. So this workflow, this brain here, and it's not fully where there's a couple tweaks that I would do with this, and I'm going to tell you how it goes. But for this workflow, what I would do, how it works, sorry, is it goes off of a Google sheet. And so my Google sheet, I populated, I did some keyword research on the topics on this side. So I'll just show you my Google sheet here. So the topics on column A here. So if you're a business person, I'm sure you work with Google Sheets or Excel sheets. Has all my keywords of all the stuff that people are searching for, kind of within my niche of Native American stuff, right? And so all I need to do is once I turn on my workflow, right, and I activate this, that means that I don't need to go to this workflow anymore. All I need to do is worry about my Google Sheets. So, and the way it triggers is once I click on something on these check marks, which is create, and then the next one is social media, that automatically shares to my social media. That's for another video. But once I click on this box and it goes to the corresponding keyword, Native American movies on Netflix, this workflow is going to trigger automatically and create that blog post for me, publish it on my WordPress blog, and document that they did it on my Google Sheet, so I don't need to create another blog post around that keyword. And I think that's really, really cool. Now, the tweaks that I would do for this is I would create another workflow that goes on here, and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday or something, it automatically checks a box. And then that would trigger this workflow to go, like this, that it would, this webhook right here, this very first part of the brain of your blog employee you created with this N8N workflow, automatically checks and says, oh, somebody clicked on this. I need to create a blog post on it. And so it automatically triggers, let's say on a Monday, where I program a check mark to go off every Monday. Boom, boom, boom. And a new blog gets created automatically. And so I think that's a really, really a cool way to just automate this whole process. It's hands off. You can not even have to think about your blog anymore and just know I have an AI agent that's automatically creating content for me day in, day out, so I can get more business for myself, right? And so that's how you do it. So I want you to think like an entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur wouldn't have to go through all of this yourself and be like, okay, now as an entrepreneur, I need to learn N8N. I need to learn how to write JSON. I need to learn how. No, you don't need to do that. You just need to know the people who know how to do that. And that's where, as an entrepreneur, the only advice I'd really give you is hire it out. Hire the experts to do the workflows for you. And the cool thing is, you could get them to do any kind of workflow that you want, that analyze your Google Sheets, to go on your QuickBooks, make sure everything is in alignment with your bank account. You could do advertising, you could do lead outreach, whatever job you don't like doing as an entrepreneur, something that's mundane, something that's boring to do, something where you kind of dread doing it, that you need to get done as a business owner, outsource it out to AI. Outsource it out to an AI agent where you can create the workflow, and do it where you're hiring someone off of Upwork, maybe a couple $100 one time, right? A one-time cost that goes out and creates, doing the job that you don't want to do as an entrepreneur. And that allows you to focus more on the things that you want to focus on with your business. And I think that's such a beautiful thing with AI agents to do, and to know that you don't need the knowledge to do it. You just need to know the knowledge of where to get it done and how to get it created so that it works for you. And once you get someone who's really good at doing this, you could use that same person over and over and over again, because if they did a great job, you could rehire them to do another job and another job and another job. Now you don't have to go through all the talent here and just work with one individual who's going to do a lot of work for you. So, I think that's the solution here. That's what you want to do. And so let me show you how this works. As you can see, here's my blog. The last blog here is mastering meat drying, dry meat without the leathery taste. So let me show you how this works here. So if I go here and I hit execute workflow, what it's going to do, it's waiting for a trigger to event. So what it's waiting for is one of these boxes to be checked, right? So let me do, I'll try to find a fun one. There's a lot of stuff here, like wolf dream catchers. So this is a lot of Native American content, and I know that people who like Native American content, if they came to my blog, they came to my website, they're also going to like some of the services and some of the stuff that we sell on our website. So we could do medicine wheel, Native American powwow dancing, blanket exercise. There's all kinds of stuff here. There's names, there's films. There's actually one I wanted to do here about Netflix here. Where was that? Native American movies on Netflix. So if I click this first checkbox right here, it's just down here. I'm going to click on that and go back here, and it's waiting for that trigger to go off. And then now it got the trigger that I clicked on that button from my Google Sheet. And so it's going to work here. So now the AI agent, the very first part of this AI agent is part of the brain. It did a little bit of research with this perplexity node, and that's just a research node. And it's given instructions to ChatGPT to take that information that it wrote, that perplexity researched for us, to create an outline of what the blog post is going to be like. Then it sends it off here to kind of clean it up, make sure that what ChatGPT wrote, the outline, gets a little refined, right? And that basically just sending it off to the next part of the brain. And then after that, it sends it off to create, the structure of it, of the whole blog post, with all the content that is needed for the blog post. And now this next part right here, this whole array, is the images. So now it's creating the images for this blog post, in particular blog post. And it's going to create 4 different images. And the way I have it done is that it goes through ChatGPT to create the images. You could use Midjourney, you could use all kinds of different types of image generation tools that you have. Maybe it's Runway, maybe it's all the other image generation stuff for AI. Now, I know a lot. This is one thing I want to talk about is, as a small business owner myself, we did $600,000 last year with AI. Really helped out our business. We want to take that to $300,000 a month, right? But in the beginning, as an entrepreneur, I only knew really about some image generation tools and ChatGPT. And I feel like a lot of us small business owners, that's really to the extent of our knowledge of AI and actually how to use AI. We have no idea how to actually, do this for ourselves. And so this is the service that I found was N8N. N8N. That's probably a term you never heard before, because you don't need to know this stuff, right? You don't need to know, that these really technical things. But now that you know, I guess N8N, you know that you could hire someone on Upwork to create these automate tasks for you. And the cool thing is, dream up anything, literally dream up anything, and go to Upwork and post it and say, is there anyone out there that could create this solution for me? And it should be something that you have to do physically, on a computer, obviously, right? Maybe you post ads on Facebook and you're doing constant Facebook ads where you're saying, hey, I'm a business in your local area and I offer these services. And so when some people are searching on Marketplace on Facebook, that they find you, and you have a whole conversation with the person before you get hired. If that's not something you like to do, something that you don't enjoy doing, automate it. There's a chat bot here that could create it for you, uh, where they can create a chat bot that speaks in your tone of voice, that speaks back to your prospects back and forth until they ask for a quote. And then once they ask for a quote, you could trigger that to go through another AI automation to take that person's information, that they just spoke to you, and generate a quote and email it off to that person automatically. And so all you're doing now is doing the work, right? So whatever it is that you could literally think about that you want to automate for your business, that is something that you might want to think about creating an AI agent for you. And the cool thing is, when you do content creation, there's a lot of content creation automations out there. What I know in particular is like having a large audience creates a lot of good extra business for yourself and your business. And it creates a little bit of influence for yourself, because now when you post something, you have a lot more reach when you have a bigger following, especially if you're creating engaging, cool content. And the cool thing, again, I'm going to put it back, is you don't need to be the one doing it. Uh, Anything that you think you need to hire an employee for now, try think first, is there a way I could automate this process? So it's taking a while right here just to generate the images. It's generating 4 images with this model. I'm hoping it doesn't time out, because I really want to show you the example of a finished blog post. And the cool thing is, once this is set for myself, there's no need for me now to wait on these processes. This could happen automatically. I could set it for certain times where it happens 5 in the morning. Now my AI agent is part of the 5 a.m. club, and every 5 a.m. it's generating a new blog post for me. And so when I do wake up, let's say I decide to sleep in and I wake up at 9 a.m., I could check my blog and realize, oh, I already had a blog post today. It's already been shared to social media. People were commenting on it, and my other AI agents were replying to those comments and leading them to a website funnel where they give me their name and email. Now I got leads. And now this other AI agent is following up with my leads automatically to introduce myself to them more personally. So it looks like it did it, right? Workflow executed properly. So if I go here, there it is. It looks like it generated the content. Here's the link for the website. Boom, boom. And then it also looked like it created social media captions. So Twitter caption, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. So all of that is created for me automatically, which is really cool. And I'll just format that. I got to do this where it happens automatically. So want to make, where is that? Oh, hopefully it didn't do, because I had another thing triggered and saved on here. I really hope it didn't create something different. So I might need to run through this again, because I actually had something saved on there from another workflow, and I really didn't want that to happen. So, but what happens is it creates these this blog post for you. So it's November 13th. And this is the one that it just created previously to the whole document that I did. So, all right. So the problem is, I actually didn't refresh just because I had some things saved on here for it to create uh, that same execution. Oh, on here, my bad. So what I should have did was reload everything. So I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna reload this so it's fresh because I actually had I had it saved with a certain workflow from the dry meat example, and so kind of kills my live example, but this is what it created for me while testing out the blog post, and it created these really funky cool images, all of that, and has all my links here, everything that I need, which is really really cool and really really awesome. And so let me try one more example, and then I'll talk about kind of like how you can get your hands on this for yourself, and hopefully it works this time. So execute workflow, waiting for trigger event again, and we'll go indigenous symbols and meanings. So I'll click that, and it's going to go back into here and start creating all of that research. So I just got to make sure I don't have anything pinned on here. Oh my God, I can't, I went off of it. So now I think I killed that workflow before it even got a chance to do anything. So it looks like I don't have anything pinned in here in terms of, oh yeah, right here. See, this is where I have some things pinned here that's creating that. So I got to unpin. So what that means is I have previous instructions to these to this employee I created, and so it's going to go off of those instructions, and so that's the reason why it didn't create that blog post for me. And so I actually want to go back to that because I want to create this blog post, and I'm going to just delete the data, and I'm going to run this through again. So here we go. I'm going to execute this work. Oh, stop. Go back. I'm going to reload it without saving it so it's fresh, because I really want to show you how this works. It's really, really cool. So execute workflow. It's waiting for trigger. And now I'm going to go back to Native American movies on Netflix. I'm going to click on that and let that go off right here. So a little bit of, let that run through, and a little bit of the things that I really want to do this year is take my business to 300,000 a month using AI, 100% AI. It's going to automate a lot of the stuff for me. And so part of our business, what we do is we do a lot of grant writing, proposal writing, because there's millions and millions of dollars there for you and I as small business owners to help us grow our business, to help us serve community, to help us with a lot of the stuff that we're doing. And so I'm automating my whole AI grant research. So it's going to find all the grants for me for what I do. And then the second AI agent is going to go through that list. It's going to be able to match and get all the information about that particular grant. Number two, it's going to get all the information about my company. It'll already have that, like a document that has all my business information, my accomplishments, our awards, things that we've done as a business. Three, it's going to go through the projects that I put it down to 5 main projects that we do constantly year in, year out that create the most amount of impact for our business. And then with that, I'm going to generate, it's going to take all that information. It's going to know about the grant. It's going to know about my business. It's going to know about our project. And it's going to write the grant for us, automatically for us. So that right there should generate $1 million in a year. And we're not quite there for 300,000 a month. So that's my first automation process and the thing that I'm going to be doing. Let me put this on here because it's kind of satisfying to see the little circle go and do all the process. The second part is our we have a funnel system. So I'm gonna be using AI to help me create better ads for Facebook ads, to reach out to leads when we generate leads, to close sales. We have a high-end ticket sale of 13,000 American for one of our products, and we want to close about 10 new sales of that every single month, and we're going to be automating a lot of this stuff with AI. We have our sales funnel that works with a lot with AI that triggers a lot of things. Like if they watch our webinar but they don't end up buying, our AI system triggers, follows up with them to go to say, hey, you were watching our webinar, go back and watch it, right? And if they watch the webinar but they don't fill out the application to speak with us, an AI triggers and says, hey, go back and fill out that application. And if they don't fill out that application, AI triggers and says, hey, we got this bonus. If once you fill out the application, we give you this awesome bonus. Part 2, part 3, part 4 have different bonuses where we're teaching stuff like this for, for people who want to grow. Third is, I want to teach other small businesses like yourself how to use AI to automate your business. And not only that, but how to build wealth for yourself. And so I want to teach you how to use AI and even how to use Upwork, to automate a lot of this stuff for yourself. So if you have a blog, we could teach you how to use the same exact workflow, and all you need to do is add your credentials to it, right? And with that, be able to automate your blog now for you, automate your social media posts for you, automate all of that so it generates business for you. But also how to create sales funnels where whatever service or product you have, you're not sending a lot of your prospects to just a website that has a lot of information. You want to send them to a funnel. And that's basically automating your sales process where you have one sales presentation going out to all your prospects every single day, and it's automating all of that for you. And now you have one sales presentation, and that's like your master salesperson, like you hired a master salesperson, and we could use AI to write that script for you, to do the voiceover for you. You don't even need to be on camera to create this awesome sales presentation that does the selling and telling for you automatically. So you got your organic traffic, you got your paid traffic going, sending people to your sales funnel, and your sales funnel sells your product and your solution for you 24/7, day in, day out. And with that income, you could use that income to deploy more AI agents to automate your whole business, and you create another sales funnel for another product or service that you have. And you keep repeating and milking this process till you scale and scaling up. And now you have so much of your process automated that you have more free time for yourself. You have more free time for your health. You can go work out. You can spend the whole day working out, going for a walk, spending time with your kids, spending time with your loved ones, doing the stuff you love, because you know that a lot of your business stuff that takes a lot of time and energy from you can now be automated through AI, can now be automated through AI agents for your business. And so I really, really kind of show you this process of just a smidgen of what could happen for your business to automate the blogging part of your business as a small business owner. And so I want you to think about, what do you spend money on advertising right now? Maybe you're doing radio ads and you're spending $3,000 a month. Maybe you're doing billboards and you're spending, $5,000-8,000 a month. Maybe you're spending money constantly on newspaper ads. A lot of this stuff I realize is business that was taught to you in the past, but usually those things are made for big business with big budgets, because you can't really track how well a radio ad is doing. You can't really track how well a billboard is doing. You can't really track, other than, doing a survey of your clients to be like, how did you find us? And they click, we saw your billboard. Then you could kind of manually track all that. But with a Facebook ad or a LinkedIn ad, you could track how many people it reached. You could track how many people clicked. You could track how many people clicked and went to your website. You could track how many people went to your website and became a lead. You could track how many people became a lead and bought. You could track how many people went through your email follow-up system and then purchased, right? And then those who didn't buy, but you just pushed them to another automatic sales process, and then you could track all that. So I think it's a lot better to spend your advertising budget on online things, because the ability as a small business owner to literally track how much money you're spending and is it working for you, right? So you want to be able to have those numbers. Now, cool thing is you could take those numbers, those analytics, and have it go through an AI agent that analyzes all of those analytics for you and presents it to you on a weekly report that gets emailed to you. And then you could just look up that weekly report and be like, okay, Facebook ads is working. YouTube ads is not working. Let's kill those. Banner ads are working. Let's keep that. LinkedIn ads are kind of expensive. We're just breaking even on that. Let's figure out how to optimize that so we can spend less on it, but still end up making more money, right? So that's things that you really want to, the power of AI agents, of basically how this could all work for you. So still going through the process. This HTTP request here is actually doing the integration of uploading the images now to WordPress, which takes a while with that. So hopefully you're getting value, at this point. If you got enough value from here, hopefully that can give me a like or subscribe. I'm going to be documenting my whole process on what I'm doing to scale my business to 300,000 a month with AI and AI agents, and to free up my life. There's a lot of stuff that I have to do manually on a computer, where I spend a lot of time on a desk, on a computer, generating income for myself at home. But it takes a lot of time. And there's a lot of times as an entrepreneur that where you're working 12-hour days, 16-hour days. You're rarely getting sleep, especially if you're going hard, especially if you're the only person on your team, but even if you have a 2-man team, a 3-man team, a 5-man team, imagine how much you can get done with this. Oh my goodness. So this request timed out on us. So I can't show you the example right now. That sucks. I'll have to come back and do another video where I showed you this. This video is actually getting pretty long already. For this process here, but I'm going to end this video here, but I'll come back with another video of this. I just wanted to show you that I got this process, what AI agents are and how you can use them, that there's more to AI agents and automate, and there's more to using AI for your business than just ChatGPT, right? There's more to using it than just creating images and creating videos on these apps, right? And if you're going to pay a subscription for these AI agents or these AI services, how do you automate it? And so hopefully I gave you that answer. That's the biggest thing I wanted to do with this video, is just give you that answer on how to actually automate AI for your business and make it work for you. And that is the process of knowing that there's a service called N8N out there that you go to Upwork to get the workflow done for you, and that is working for you, and that's happening automatically. And then have solutions for you in your business so you can get more free time doing the things that you want to do. With that, thank you guys so much for watching this video.